All right, Black Sheeple, MysterE here, recorded to you and live to me, of course. And I am here to deliver a little message, I hope, to leave you a little bit better than I found you. It is a Taurus new moon on May 19th, 2023. And while I was sitting just before the starting this, I got a little message, which is, how do we become healthy in a society full of illness? How do we, in a sick society, in the way that we are operating on the larger scale, how does each one of us become healthy in that environment? So I'm not sure what that's about. Anyway, I've got my 514 Tarot, brand new. They're slippery and the new cards are so exciting. And then I've got this brand new deck I'm just over the moon about, 514 Tarot clarifying deck. And each one of these cards has a unique face to it, and then it has a poem from The Gift is Listening, which is the Enlightened Relationship Guide for men, and of course for women too. And so we clarify with that deck, and then we also have the Wisdom Oracle of the Black Sheep. So the Tarot will teach us the lessons, and then give us the lessons, and then the Wisdom Oracle will give us the benefit of the lesson. Then we also have the Lunacy Guide of the Black Sheep, and today is the first day, or actually day 0, because the new moon is happening in the middle of the day almost for a lot of folks. But it's about expressing oneself, what you are thinking about, what you are feeling right now, what it is you are intending to create right now, what is bothering you right now. All those are being vacuumed into the larger consciousness like seeds. So be very careful about what you think about right now, because what you think about and what you feel, because of the alignment of the moon and the sun and the earth, there's just all the gravitational pulls are much stronger right now. So just be conscious, write down what it is you'd like to do. And so our idea for today is, I remember I am the spark. I am not this body, I'm not this ego, I'm not this personality. I am something much more divine than that, and I align with the divine plan. So my practice is simplified. Rather than asking for a lot of things necessarily, setting goals, I'm setting intentions about aspects of my life, and always aligning with the divine plan, because I recognize, I don't perceive my own best interest sometimes, maybe all the times. So anyway, I'm going to lay these cards out and lickety split, and we'll see what happens here. Interesting lineup already. Let's see, 2 more, 1 more, and then an outcome. Oh goodness. And anyway, I've got this new game happening. I almost knew that card was going to come out, called the Game of E. I'd love for you to play it. It has all of that 4 decks that I just showed you, and when you start to play with these images and these concepts every day, you recognize that what we're doing is we're reframing our ideas about what we've been conditioned with in our lifetime. And everybody is under the same influence. We all grew up in something, but we all chose it coming here. And if we get an enlightened perspective about what's really happening on earth, it's a school of love, and we can master the lessons of love, then we all of a sudden we start to look at life a little bit differently. And that's what these cards are. They're like flashcards for learning the consciousness. Flashcards for learning the new consciousness of compassion that, a lot of us on earth right now are feeling very compelled to do what we can to help as many people as we can. And that's, kind of where I'm at right now. Not even kind of, that's where I am at. And in this new moon, it's always a time to be still and to rest. That's a really important thing, and I sort of see a little bit of that happening in the cards right now. So let's see what we got. Underneath, behind the whole scenes, about what we don't see coming, or what is in the background, or is underneath our foundation that is coming into our awareness, is the Chariot card, which is really a beautiful thing, divine assistance. It means a sign or a signal that, something is coming to our benefit. So that's always a good place to start to read. Just like, I know my good is coming. I'm always taken care of, divine assistance. And this is about summoning it, actually. It's not necessarily about just waiting for it, like a divine, it's the Chariot. It's raw movement and action, but it's like you summon the Chariot and you say, oh, it's time to summon the divine assistance. And then the clarification card underneath it is sitting still. So not much to do on a new moon, but to really feel the divine assistance coming and sit still. So that's really happening in the background for us. What the read is about is Five of Cups, which in our deck is the relationship endings, a messy situation, emotional situation. She's got two cups kind of next to her suitcases. She's packed everything. She's moving on. She's kicking the cups that she was investing in that no longer are fulfilling. She's recognizing that, not all is lost and it's time to hit the road. So sometimes that's somebody actually fleeing a relationship or a situation, or, saying, I've had it with, the way things are happening. I've got to look after myself. Fives are about change, so we're in a changing of Mars tomorrow, a lot of planet and changing, having this Taurus new moon. We'll be in Gemini very shortly. There's a lot of change happening. The astrological things have all been about change right now. Then we have the Chief Alchemist card, Magician card. This is this is a major arcana card, as is the Divine Assistance card, but this card is saying that I not only do I summon divine assistance, I'm also summoning all the elements to come to my aid. You see, he's got a lot of arms working for him because he recognizes that not all happens in this world here. The chief alchemist, the magician, all knows how to work with, intention and prayer and the elements to bring forth a vision. And behind it, you see timelines. So a great alchemist, he's the chief alchemist, so he's a great alchemist. And in the back, you see the Timelines poem, which is all about how do we not get lost in the fantasies of life and what life is bringing us, and how do we practice innocence and forgiveness and neutrality, really being really neutral with ourselves so that we're not being, against something or for something. We're setting our intentions out with neutrality, and in that place of taking aim at our destiny with all of our tension, the chief alchemist can change the denser and darker structures of the awakening process that he's discovering within, and turn that into light and turn it into magic and actually shift timelines. In other words, we live in a multi-dimensional reality, and so we want to simplify our timelines. We want to simplify our magic. We want to simplify how our energy goes. We want to bring everything together. It's about calling back aspects of ourselves. Then we've got the King of Daggers that comes out about worldview, seeing everything as exactly perfect as the way it is. It's about mastery in the way that you see things, mastery in the way that you think, mastery in the way that you communicate. And you can see that the King of Daggers art is very precise. He's working on it there. And the King of Daggers is really about seeing that everybody's exactly where they're supposed to be right now. And I have no resistance to the play at all. I'm going to get back to doing what I do best, which is making things beautiful and crystal clear. So this is about crystal clarity, and in the background you see the words, "Here I am, here I am." And that's really a poem about coming to a place in life where you recognize that you don't need anything to be happy, that you can just be. And so here we have the king doing art, and in the background is the clarification, is the Nine of Cups. So here I am, and I am fully happy in the way that I am. Then Holy Justice comes up, and Holy Justice is the 11, another major arcana. This is shaping up to be a very powerful read. It says relationship change in the background, which is the Seven of Wands. And the relationship change isn't a negative thing at all. It's just meaning that some relationship is changing in your life right here on the new moon, after following two eclipses in the last full lunar cycle. I feel like, there's a lot of relationship changes for a lot of people. So, but this isn't coming from any place. I mean, this is coming from clarity, because the King of Daggers is coming from setting the intention to be, it's walking away from difficult situations, recognizing there's no such thing as failure. And then, the next card is the Nine of Cups, the wish fulfillment. The wish fulfillment, and that Nine of Cups has come up twice in this read. And interestingly enough, behind him is the Lion card. So it's like the deception, the self-deception card, the Lion card. I have no idea why that's there. Let's go forward and see what happens. The next thing is there's a choice to make. We have an opportunity, because with the Two of Coins here, it's like, which way do we go with what is being presented with us right now? Because something is changing. Urges of addiction. Interesting, the number 36 card, to clarify that something, it's almost like there's happiness, we're happy, but in the background there's some kind of self-deception going on. And it's really easy for us to get into a place of self-deception because things just kind of creep into our awareness. Sometimes we're all human beings on us in learning, but we have to learn how to sit and be with these energies and see them for what they are before they come in and create a destructive wake. Because she's wrestling with choice. This is all about formulate your truth right now. Get really clear on who you are, because you're being offered you're offered an opportunity to stay in your truth or step out of your alignment into perhaps an addictive cycle. Because this is the outcome card. There's another 2, so it's another choice to make. It's another Y in the road, and it's saying, look, clear agreements right now are really imperative. And that's the Princess. This is the new Earth in the background, and their medicine. That's our new 5th suit in our deck, which is about it's your clear agreements that ought to be guiding your truth right now. Are you in clear agreements with yourself? Because this card is about aligning with truth, and this card is about a hot connection. A lot of times some kind of sexual attraction or some kind of passionate project or something like that. But 2 2s in a row, I'd say that's our number today. Really look out for that. So a big change in relationship. Let's see what the Wisdom Oracle has to say about this. Remember, that's what our read is about. And on the bottom, I didn't clarify that earlier, it's a failure card. There is no such thing as failure, but sometimes we don't know that. We have to go through a period of time thinking that everything's, we are a failure, and then recognizing that that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If we believe we're a failure, we are, and if we don't, we're not. And so it's like transforming your ideas of change, emotional change, an upset situation. It's like it wasn't a failure. It's giving you an opportunity, giving us all an opportunity to step forward. So that's what the read's really about, is like there's something in your back. All of us have got upset cups in our background, right? And all of us have gone through changes, especially in these last 3 years. And right now, the opportunity is to transform those ideas into not failures, but opportunities to step into your power. Because that's what she's doing. No matter what's in her background, she's stepping into her power, and that's what we want to do. But we've got to recognize that we are innocent, and we are learning on this journey. We are stepping forward and learning how to use our magic, right? And learning how to shift timelines through forgiveness, through letting go of fantasy and the old ideas, is welcoming something new, getting really crystal clear with ourselves, making some art, becoming the masters of how we think and communicate. And then as we do that, there's going to be relationship change, and things are going to, as things balance out, it's like almost without our awareness even, or certainly we need do nothing. Relationships are going to change in our life for the better. The relationships that are worth fighting for are going to come forward, because that's what the 7 of Wands is. It's a relationship change, because I've discovered that what I plant seeds in grows, and what I fight for, what I commit to, can have a chance to really do something great in my life. But it seems like a transition right now of like looking at the relationships in our lives and saying which ones are making me happy and which ones are, I'm self-deceiving myself that they really aren't relationships that are bringing me forward. And I think that's one of the great senses of integrity that we all need to have in this new era of consciousness, is who are the people we're spending time with, and how are we spending our time with them? Because that is everything, folks, because as we move into a higher vibration, it becomes more of a co-creative foundation. And so those people that we spend time with, and those people that we bear our souls to, and that we are really in a deep communion with, they're going to bring us happiness. But we have to be always self-aware of our self-deception, because a lot of times these choices will appear out of nowhere, and the urges of addiction will show up. What's interesting about this poem, The Urges of Addiction, the first line is, urges of addiction are a signal of the next awakening. Denying urges denies your awakening. Go into your emotional suffering with love. It may not happen the first time or the second. You must keep going, even if it takes you to your knees and then far beyond, into your inability to arrest the spiritual cleansing by your hand. At this point, the magic begins spinning. It is the alchemy that was the raw material, that uses the raw materials of your shame and pain to spiral you into a new place of empowerment and joy. So it goes on even from there. The urges of addiction is not a negative thing. It is saying an awakening is coming. And with all awakenings, there's a choice point. And that's what's happening. We're all coming to, and as if we're going to wake up as a society, if we're going to wake up together in community, if we're going to wake up together as friends, as lovers, as partners, as children, as parents, as all the rest of it, as soccer coaches and teachers and all the things, we're going to do it. We're going to come to these choice points. We're going to come to these choice points, and they're going to like change the way that we look at ourselves and other people. And we thought, we had a good grapple on, where we were in life. And then all of a sudden some big sweeping change comes in. There's a hot connection, and it's our agreements with ourself. That's what the Princess of New Arts are saying in the background. This is the power of this deck. It's saying, no, if we can be committed to our word and committed to the agreements that we set with ourselves and set with other people, and really take time to do that, then what we can do is we can transform all of this energy into love and into a co-creative space, and do it with a lot of integrity. And I feel like that's what we want. We want to do things with a lot of integrity in our life, because we're recognizing that, everything that we put into the mirror of life is coming back to us. That's every thought, that's every deed, that's every word, that's every prayer, everything. So, it's like when you really start to recognize this, it's like wow, if I watch the news, then all I'm doing is I'm recycling the news into the consciousness. I'm recycling it into my experience. So if I don't watch the news, I'm not recycling that into my experience. So if I spend all my time in meditation, that's what I'm putting into the mirror, and that's what a monk would experience, in a monastery. But most of us aren't in a monastery. We're in this wild and crazy life. And so we use these tools that we have: imagery, positive affirmations, good relationships, telling the truth, all the things that these cards are telling us from an innocent mindset. We don't know. We don't really know. But we want to learn to follow our intuition and trust that, we're being guided on a path of awakening and personal empowerment. And that's what I'm here for. If you'd like to participate, I'd love to have it. So, one quick review: trust your magic. It's like, it's like sometimes if you feel compelled to leave a situation, and even if it becomes upsetting later on, you need to get yourself out of that situation to recognize there is no such thing as failure. Trust your magic. You're not a failure. You're absolutely perfect exactly the way you are. This is the way that you've always been. Trust your magic. Your magic is the miracle that is you, that is walking around on this earth, that has something to offer. To really trust your magic, that your journey is taking you exactly to where you want to go to. And that, building a bridge is, what a magician does. A magician learns to use consciousness as a tool of awakening. And once we recognize that we're in a school of love, then we start solving we just recognize that everything is a problem to solve, and it's all one problem, and all we have to do is love it. It becomes really simple to start loving everything. And that's the build that we bridge, and that's how we change the timelines in the eyes of the chief alchemist in his ways. It's like we're gonna build a bridge to our destiny by letting go of our ideas about this reality and step into a different, more conscious, multidimensional relationship with our environment. And love is our only way through, and that's what the King of Daggers is getting so clear on through his art. Our only way through this is to love. And here I am. So Nine of Cups is here I am, and I'm doing my thing. I'm doing it to the best of my ability, and I am absolutely clear about this. I'm absolutely clear in myself. And when I'm clear and I'm not creating any karma for myself, I'm recognizing that everything I'm putting into the mirror is what's coming back as my experience, and I am the creator of my life. That's what the King of Daggers really understands. Then there's going to be balance in my life. This is a Libra card, Holy Justice. Things balance out. Karma's balanced. Relationships change for my benefit. And, I discover through this, I'm 100% responsible, but I'm not in control at all. And that gives me the power then to create anything from nothing. Anything becomes possible when I give up control. I surrender to the divine plan for my life. I give it all to God. This is what I want, but really what I want is I want to be guided through my intuition exactly like my divine plan wants to. And I want to be 100% responsible for everything I'm creating, but I've got to give up all control because I know I'm not in control. And when I'm not in control, I can relate to this reality much differently. And that's going to bring me happiness, because really that's what when I give up my ideas, which is in the background, when I recognize that I've been self-deceiving myself my entire life, trying to make myself happy by gaining things and doing things, it really, it really comes down to one thing. And the Mr. Skeleton is telling us this, and it's hard to read there, but it says we get what we tolerate. We get what we tolerate. And you can see they're like coming to this awareness now, skin and flesh, and the ego is gone. It's just the bones. It's like, wow, we get what we tolerate. We get what we tolerate. Our joy, can be diminished through self-deception very, very easily. We get what we tolerate. So if there's things in our life that seem to keep coming around, we have to recognize that they're there because we want them there. We're experiencing something because we want to experience it. Well, if we take that responsibility, that what I'm experiencing, even though it feels that it's totally out of my control, I'm taking the responsibility that I created it from some level of awareness that I'm not quite to yet, because I'm still growing as a spiritual person. I recognize that somehow I do get what I tolerate, because what I experience is what I desire, and what I desire is what I experience. So I really work that. Then when I come to these choice points in life and the urges of addiction kick in, I don't take the urges of addiction down the predictable old rivers of shame and doubt and fear and oh no. I go, wait a minute, those places don't take me anywhere. I'm learning through this new game of E that the urges of addiction are simply a sign of moving me into my next thing. And once I realize that, it's much easier to make the choice. And then I made it. I made it through the next level of the game of life. I got to a place where I feel satisfied because I have started to really practice and learn the lessons of love, which is to love everything, love myself, honor myself, accept myself, and to keep my agreements around that, to really keep my agreements all the time. Thank you for Mr. E. Thank you, Mr. E. That's what I'm saying to myself, and I want you to say that to yourself. Thank you for keeping your agreements, because it's when we keep our agreements, regardless of what everybody else does. So if we look at this now, thank you for keeping agreements, and on the bottom it says clear agreements. Now there's only, that's a rare pairing in our outcome. So it's when we make the right choice, we are paired up with people and situations that are fiery and hot and are going to make things happen. And as long as we have clear agreements, we can step into our power. So on the bottom of the deck, remember the Chariot, divine assistance, it's coming. Our job right now in this Taurus new moon is to sit still, folks. Sit still in an innocent mind. That right there says we don't know. Keep saying yes to life. Keep saying yes to what your meditation's bringing you, what your intuition is bringing you. Don't know anything. In other words, be innocent in the way that you approach life. And just go through the experience. Go through the experience knowing you've attracted it. And if you've attracted it, you're ready for it. And if you're ready for the lesson, all you have to do is slow way, way down. Take 100% responsibility, give up control, trust your magic, and build a bridge to your destiny. And it all is about the agreement field that you have with yourself. All right? Thank you so much. If you want to get involved with the game of E, you want to start playing with these cards, change your life. It's amazing what's happening here. I'm excited about it. God bless you. Have the best day ever.